The harmless old fisherman kept sneaking into stormy beach houses and left me a note next. Police officers always ask what criminal impressed you, and mine wasn't some big-time crook. I've been a cop in a small coastal town for 15 years, and most calls are loud tourists and petty theft. But we had this older guy everyone called the fisherman. Around 60, skinny, sun-worn face, faded blue jacket, rubber boots, and a limp. Every morning he sat at the diner with black coffee and the paper. Then the beach house complaints started. Our town has fancy vacation homes that sit empty most of the year, and owners would come back and say, "Something's been in here." Nothing was smashed, and nothing big was missing. Just small changes that made your skin crawl. A chair moved, photos turned, pantry food a little lower, like someone took just enough to blend in, and the doors were still locked. We checked for forced entry and found none. No broken glass, no pry marks, no busted locks. We upped patrols and got a few owners to put up cameras. Still, nothing. The pattern that bothered me most was the weather. Complaints popped up right after storms, like the rain was hiding whoever it was. One night, a nasty storm hit hard. Wind screaming, waves pounding, and the beach road was dead. I was doing a slow patrol when I spotted a tiny light bobbing offshore, moving like someone was out there. I drove to the marina, and there he was. The fisherman was tying up his little boat in the pouring rain like it was normal. I stepped out, got hit in the face with cold spray, and said, "Sir, why are you out in this?" He smiled and said, "Fish bite best in a storm, Officer Taylor." But his boat was empty. No fish, no rods, no tackle, just a waterproof bag and some rope. His boots weren't just wet from rain either. They were soaked up to the calves, like he'd been standing in deep water, waiting for the right moment. I looked toward the dark line of beach houses and said, "You've been getting into those homes from the ocean side, haven't you?" He didn't deny it, and he didn't admit it. He just said, calm as ever, "Every house has a weakness. Most people only lock what faces the street." The next morning, I walked that row of beach houses with a flashlight. Sure enough, every one of them had small basement windows facing the water, big enough for a skinny guy to squeeze through, and almost none of those windows had locks or alarms. Why would they? Who would swim around back in a storm? I pulled property records on the fisherman, and my stomach sank. He built a bunch of those houses back in the 70s, before he sold his construction business. He didn't just know the area, he knew the layouts and the weak spots owners never checked. We brought him in, but it felt like questioning a retired handyman, not a thief. While we were setting up, our station coffee machine died, and I got short with it because I was tired. The fisherman glanced over and said, "Third screw on the back panel is loose." One of our guys tightened it, and the machine started right up. Charging him was the hard part. Homeowners couldn't prove any real loss. No jewelry missing, no cash gone, nothing trashed, just some food gone, and signs someone had been there. The district attorney wasn't going to hammer an old man over a few cans of soup, so we got him for trespassing and minor theft. He got community service, and the judge sent him to help repair the same beach houses he'd been sneaking into. I expected angry owners, but the calls we got were almost awkward. "He found a leak," one guy said. People were still mad, but they also didn't want their houses falling apart. By the time his hours were almost done, a few owners were quietly asking for his number. A few days later, I saw him at the diner again. Same jacket, same boots, same coffee. He waved me over and slid a folded paper across the table. "Your house," he said. I opened it and my stomach dropped. It was a list of security problems in my own place. Things I hadn't noticed in 12 years. "Your backdoor deadbolt is installed upside down," he said, tapping the page. "Anyone with a butter knife could pop it." Then he added, "And move your spare key. Under the blue flower pot is the first place people look." My coffee stopped halfway to my mouth. I stared at him and said, "Lo, did you break into my house?" He shrugged, like I asked if he'd changed a light bulb. "You left your bedroom window open last Tuesday when it rained," he said. "I closed it for you. Water was getting on those photos of your daughter's graduation." For a second, I couldn't even breathe. I could see that night in my head, me rushing out, telling myself I'd check the windows later. I set my cup down slow and finally said, "How did you know where they were?" He just took a sip of coffee and watched me, like the answer was sitting right in front of